the great lightweights of the last century. Let's take a look at these great lightweights on the Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. I'm Scrapbook Boxing, Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. Let's continue examining the World Weight Championships. We're looking at the Lightweight Championship division. It began in 1855. John Monahan. He was an Irishman from Liverpool, England. Came to America and claimed the Lightweight Championship. He was credited with being the first man to claim this title. December 18th, 1855. He would beat Little Jim Hart in 45 rounds, 51 minutes. That fight would take to complete. The fight took place in Island Pond, Canada, for the title. In 1856, July 19th to be exact, Jim Hart beat Monahan in 10 rounds, 14 minutes, in Beverly, Massachusetts. Now, Hart never claimed this title or defended it. And when he retired from the competition, Monahan again reigned as champion. 1857, September 28th to be exact, young Barney Aaron had defeated Monahan in 80 rounds, 3 hours and 22 minutes in Providence, Rhode Island. 1858, October 18th, Scotty Patrick. His name was Bagman, and he beat Aaron on a foul. 10 rounds, 18 minutes. And the fight took place in Longport, Canada. The referee was Louis Burrell. 1861, Scotty and Aaron had both retired. On April 18th, 1861, only Georgie Hahn had beat Edward in 45 rounds, 1 hour and 10 minutes to complete. The fight took place in New York. It was for the lightweight title. And Georgie Hahn had retired in 1863. In 1866, Sam Collier had claimed the title. On June 20th, 1866, he defeated Barney Aaron. 47 rounds, 2 hours and 5 minutes to complete. 1867, June 13th to be exact, Aaron defeated Collier in 67 rounds, 1 hour and 55 minutes. The fight took place in Virginia, and Aaron then retired, and the title was claimed by Collier, who beat Billy Kelly in 36 rounds. It was at Strickland, Pennsylvania, November 27, 1867. 1868, August 24th, Billy Edwards had defeated Sam Collier in 47 rounds, 1 hour and 14 minutes. The fight took place in Cove River, Virginia, and Billy Edwards was inactive for a couple of years. After this fight, other men began claiming the title. December 23rd, 1868, Abe Hickman defeated Pete McGuire in 5 rounds. And that fight took place in Perryville, Maryland. It was for the lightweight title. 1870, Abe Hickman retired from the ring. He eventually reappeared in Australia as the middleweight champion. On March 7th, 1870, Billy Edwards and Sam Coy were gang, and they fought for the title. And Billy Edwards was the winner in 40 rounds, lasted 45 minutes. And the fight would take place in Mystic Island, Connecticut. 1871, Billy Edwards had defended his title with a draw with Tim Collins. And the fight was 95 rounds. That was amazing. In 1872, September 4th, Arthur Chambers had defeated Billy Edwards on a foul, 26 rounds, in Squaws Island, Canada. 1873, August 3rd, Arthur Chambers had defeated George Seddon, 39 rounds, in Long Island, New York. Chambers held the crown until he retired in 1879. 1880 to 1883, the American title was claimed by Charlie Norton and Dick Hollywood. Now at this point, you had several black fighters and 2 Mexican fighters scratching at this opportunity. They were all denied. But 1884, Norm Perel, Jack Dempsey, had claimed the title for a few months. But when he outgrew the lightweight division, gave his championship to Jack McCarthy, who proved his right at a shot at the title when he defeated Billy Frazier. Harry Gilmore and other claimants. McCarthy was the last bare-knuckle fighter to hold the championship status, and the first under the Queensberry rules. He retired in 1896. McCarthy was undisputed lightweight champion of America, but never held a world title. In his battle for the world crown with Jim Carney of England, on November 16, 1887, having resulted in 74 rounds, only to become a draw. And he was succeeded by Kid Lavin. His name was George Kid Lavin. In other title battles were June 1st, 1896. Kid Lavin had knocked out Dick Berkey in London, England, 16 rounds. Now the victor became the lightweight champion of the world. That title was brought to America. July 3rd, 1899, Frank Earn had outpointed George Kid Lavin, defeating him in Buffalo, New York for 20 rounds. And Frank Earn would now become the world lightweight champion. May 12, 1902, Joe Gans would knock out Frank Earn in Fort Earn, Canada. He would knock him out in 1 round. Joe Gans would be the first black American lightweight champion of the world. Joe Gans was originally from Baltimore, Maryland. He would hold that title from 1902 to 1908. And he would die in 1910. My opinion, Joe Gans was the greatest lightweight of all times. Benny Leonard was not too far behind. October 31st, 1904, Joe Gans would win from Jimmy Britt on a foul, San Francisco, in 5 rounds. Now, Jimmy Britt had previously set up where he claimed the lightweight title, and he pleaded that Joe Gans would give him a shot. And he ignored the fact that 133 pounds would be the weight limit. July 4th, 1908, Barry Nelson knocks out Joe Gans in San Francisco, 17 rounds. Till this day, it would be known as a dive. Joe Gans would receive several death threats. You see, Joe Gans was mistreated. If Joe Gans wanted to, he perhaps could have been undefeated. Joe Gans was that special. February 22nd, 1910, Ed Wargas knocked out Barry Nelson in Port Richmond, California. The fight went 40 rounds. It was a brutal contest. November 28th, 1912, Willie Ritchie won the lightweight title from Ed Wargas on a foul in Daly City, California, in 16 rounds. July 7th, 1914, Freddie Welch outpointed Willie Ritchie in London, England, in 20 rounds. May 28th, 1917, Benny Leonard, from the Lower East Side of New York, would knock out Freddie Welch, Manhattan Casino in New York. He was stopped in 9 rounds. Leonard retired undefeated in 1925 as lightweight champion. Jimmy Goodrich would emerge as the winner of an elimination tournament designed to provide a successor to Benny Leonard's title. July 13th, 1925, Jimmy Goodrich would defend his title in 2 rounds. December 7th, 1925, Rocky Kansas outpointed Jimmy Goodrich in Buffalo, New York. July 3rd, 1926, Sammy Mandel outpointed Rocky Kansas in Chicago, Illinois, in 10 rounds. And Sammy Mandel would become the brand new world lightweight champion. July 17th, 1930, Al Singer knocked out Sammy Mandel in Yankee Stadium. He knocked him out in 1 round. November 14th, 1930, Tony Canzoneri knocks out Al Singer, New York's Madison Square Garden. And he would knock him out in 1 round. And that was amazing because all 3 men knocked their opponents out in 1 round, 6 months from when the title was exchanged. June 23rd, 1933, Barney Ross outpointed Tony Canzoneri in Chicago, Illinois. He outpointed him for 10 rounds, and he would become a world lightweight champion. But then Ross would vacate his lightweight throne, 1935. He outgrew the division. Tony Canzoneri had won an elimination tournament designed to provide Ross a successor. He would gain the title. May 10th, 1935, Tony Canzoneri outpointed Lou Ambers, New York's Madison Square Garden. He outpointed him in 15 rounds. September 3rd, 1936, Lou Ambers outpointed Tony Canzoneri, New York's Madison Square Garden, 15 rounds. Lou Ambers, the Hickory Hurricane, would now become the brand new world lightweight champion. August 17th, 1938, Henry Armstrong outpointed Lou Ambers, New York's Madison Square Garden, 15 rounds. And Henry Armstrong would now become the second black lightweight champion of the world, behind Joe Gans, who would win it in 1902. August 22nd, 1939, Lou Ambers outpointed Henry Armstrong, Yankee Stadium, and he would regain his title. Now, in between August 17th of 38 and August 22nd of 39, Henry Armstrong would hold 3 world championships at the same time. It would be the featherweight championship that he captured from Petey Cerrone in 1937, New York's Madison Square Garden. And that night he would become the first Black American featherweight champion in boxing history. Then he would go to Madison Square Garden Bowl, and he would capture the welterweight title from Barney Ross of Chicago. And then he would go down that same year and capture the lightweight championship belt from Lou Ambers. May 10th, 1940, Lou Jenkins knocks out Lou Ambers, New York's Madison Square Garden, and he would become the lightweight champion of the world. But what was amazing was that he knocked him out in 3 rounds. And Lou Ambers was as tough as they came. December 19th, 1941, Sammy Aingott defeated Lou Jenkins in Madison Square Garden, 15 rounds, and he would become the brand new lightweight champion of the world. November 13th, 1942, Aingott announced his retirement, leaving the title vacant. January 3rd, 1943, Aingott had announced his comeback. But Ray Robinson was promised an opportunity of that lightweight title. And the title would not be on the line because Sammy Aingott didn't make weight. Both Ray Robinson and Sammy Aingott would come into the ring weighing 136 pounds. But Ray Robinson would face Sammy Aingott and he would defeat him. New York's Madison Square Garden. Bojack was designated as the world champion by the New York SAC, May 21st, 1943, because he would defeat Ali Schultz from New Jersey. That put him in line to eventually face one of the most craftiest boxers in boxing during those years. And his name was Tippy Larkin. And Bojack would fight 21 main event fights in New York Madison Square Garden. Ironically, Tippy Larkin would fight 19. Now, Bojack was from Augusta, Georgia. He would take on Bob Montgomery, May 21st, 1943, and he would lose his title. But on November 19th, 1943, he would regain his championship title in defeating Bob Montgomery in 15 rounds. But on March 3rd, 1944, Bob Montgomery would regain his title, outpointing Bojack in 15 rounds. On November 26, 1946, Bob Montgomery and Wesley Monroe fought in the Convention Hall in Philadelphia for the New York supported title. In the meantime, the NBA sanctioned the title bout in Hollywood between Aingott and Luther Slugger White. Sammy Aingott became the NBA world champion in defeating Luther Slugger White 15 rounds, October 27, 1943. March 8th of 44, Juan Zorita defeated Sammy Aingott 15 rounds in Hollywood and became the NBA world champion. But on April 18th, 1945, Mexico City, Ike Williams of Trenton, New Jersey would knock out Juan Zorita and Mexico City in 2 rounds. Ike Williams was a hell of a puncher from Trenton, New Jersey. Oh, could this man fight? And when he knocked out Juan Zorita, that opened up a lot of eyes. Henry Armstrong would knock out Juan Zorita. Juan Zorita was a hell of a Mexican fighter. He sure was. April 18th, 1945 was a night that Trenton would never forget. September 4th, 1946, Ike Williams would successfully defend his title. And what was amazing about that was that Ike Williams would hold the NBA lightweight championship. Bob Montgomery would hold the New York SAC. And these two men would come together. On August 4th, 1947, Ike Williams would knock out Bob Montgomery in 6 rounds, Philadelphia, to gain international recognition of the World Lightweight Championship. May 25th, 1951, Jimmy Carter stops Ike Williams in 14 rounds, and he would win the title in New York. May 14th, 1952, Laura Solis had won a 15-round decision over James Carter to gain the lightweight championship. The fight took place in Los Angeles, California. On October 15th, 1952, Jimmy Carter would regain his title by decisioning Laura Solis 15 rounds, Chicago, Illinois. March 5th, 1954, Patty DeMarco defeated Jimmy Carter in 15 rounds, and he would win the title in New York. November 17th, 1954, Jimmy Carter would be the first man ever to regain his lightweight championship twice when he would defeat Patty DeMarco. Jimmy Carter was something else. I shared this story once before. He used to come on the block of my grandfather's house on 106th Street, 2nd Avenue, because he went to date a girl by the name of Lulu Bell, and she was the darling of the town, darling of the block. And my grandfather ran the numbers during those days, and he wanted to see Jimmy Carter because Jimmy Carter was sitting on the stoop with Lulu Bell. And he told him to come upstairs. And Carter didn't know what he wanted. So Carter would go upstairs and he would ask him, "Can I come in?" During those days, you had that respect. Took your hat off, shoes off, and you asked permission, although you were invited to come into someone's home. You sat in the chair that you were invited to sit at. Grandfather asked him, did he want a glass of wine? Jimmy Carter cleverly said, "No, thank you." My grandfather said, "I understand you're going to fight Ike Williams." He said, "Yes, I am." He said, "Can you beat Ike Williams?" He said, "Yes, I am." He said, "You don't understand. I got a lot of money riding on this. I need to know if you can defeat Ike Williams." Because Ike Williams was supported by the Philadelphia crime family. He didn't know from time to time. He just faced Enrique Bolaños, California. And that was very controversial. He fought Bolaños 3 times. And he said, "I can defeat Ike Williams." Grandfather said, "That's all you needed to know." And before you knew it, Jimmy Carter was the lightweight champion of the world, and he would knock out Ike Williams in 14 rounds. And that was amazing. June 29th, 1955, Wallace Bud Smith had won the title by outpointing Jimmy Carter in 15 rounds in Boston, Massachusetts. August 4th, 1956, Joe Brown won a title by outpointing Wallace Bud Smith in 15 rounds in New Orleans, Louisiana, which is Joe Brown's hometown. April 21st, 1962, Carlos Ortiz had won a title by outwinning a unanimous 15-round decision over Joe Brown, Old Bones, at the Convention Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. April 10th, 1965, Ishmael Laguna had won a lightweight title by gaining the majority 15-round decision over Carlos Ortiz, Panama City, Panama. Carlos Ortiz was a hell of a fighter. November 13th, 1965, Carlos Ortiz won New York and regained the lightweight championship and defeating Ismael Laguna, Panama, defeating him on points. And this fight would take place in San Juan, Puerto Rico. June 29, 1968, Carlos Ortiz lost the title to Carlos Theo Cruz in San Antonio. Dominican Republic. Zach Clayton was the referee. February 19, 1969, Mando Ramos, weighing 134.5 pounds, Long Beach, California, stopped Carlos Theo Cruz, who weighed 134.5 pounds. March 3, 1970, Ismael Laguna, Panama, halted Mando Ramos, Long Beach, California, in 9 rounds, and he would have gained the title. September 26, 1970, Ken Buchanan of Scotland outpointed Ismael Laguna in Panama, 15 rounds, and he would win the title. San Juan, Puerto Rico. June 26, 1972, Roberto Duran had knocked out Ken Buchanan, New York's Madison Square Garden, in 13 rounds. Some say low blow. Some say after the bell. I'm Scrapbook Boxing, Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuff series. All great fights and all great fighters will never be forgotten on my channel. Thanks for watching History of the Lightweight Championship Divisions. I will be continuing the series as I left off with middleweights, lightweights, and featherweights. Tune in. Thanks for watching. Peace.